Rihanna had an interview with Diane Sawyer on Good Morning America, and she opened up about her relationship with Chris Brown and all the trouble she went through with the domestic violence case. It's a really, really sad interview, in my opinion.
It is. But what I'm looking forward to is the Diane Sawyer face.
Oh, Diane Sawyer does her very, very typical facial expression.
Okay, now I haven't fully seen it yet, but hey, she's come to me. I'm going to predict that we get this at some point. So let's see how it goes. Okay, here's Diane Sawyer with Rihanna.
Since we saw that picture of her so bruised and battered last February.
Yeah.
Tomorrow she will describe in detail what happened in the car with Chris Brown and why a few weeks after she decided to go back to him. It was a mistake, she says, and sent the wrong message to so many young girls enduring the same thing.
Now all of a sudden I can't stand Diane Sawyer.
I loved Rihanna with long
hair. So successful, so powerful, so bold. Once a little girl from the tiny island of Barbados, she had dreamed her way into one of the biggest careers in music. Starting at age 16, Rihanna would have more #1 songs than any other artist in this decade. A multi-million-dollar bank account, endorsement deals, a fashion star. And then one night, her equally famous boyfriend, Chris Brown, beat her so badly, the whole world was shocked to discover there was a secret life. Rihanna says she was ashamed, unwilling to speak until now. To those of us who thought, how could it happen to someone so strong?
I am strong. This happened to me. I didn't cause this. I didn't do it. This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. There are a lot of women who've experienced what I did, but not in the public. So it made it really difficult. I just felt like, oh my God, here goes my little bit of privacy, just exposed. Like, it's something that nobody wants anybody to know. So here I am, the whole world knowing.
Why be ashamed?
Because I didn't want people to think that that's the kind of person I fell in love with that person. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing that that's the type of person that I fell in love with. So far in love, so unconditional that I went back.
On average, I think it takes a woman 7 times before she leaves.
8 or 9, actually. And I don't want that to happen. That's not what I want to teach people.
Diane Sawyer.
But again, people, I'm a human being, and people put me on a very unrealistic pedestal, and all these expectations. I'm not perfect. Also, it's pretty natural for that to be the first reaction. It's completely normal to go back. You start lying to yourself. The minute the physical wounds go away, you want this thing to go away. This is a memory you don't want to have ever again.
Tomorrow she will tell us what happened that left her so bloodied, bruised, battered, and why she went back, and what other girls she hopes will hear.
When I realized that my selfish decision for love could result into some young girl getting killed, I could not be easy with that part. I couldn't be held responsible for telling them, go back. Chris, even if Chris never hit me again, who's to say that their boyfriend won't? Who's to say that they won't kill these girls? And these are young girls, and I just didn't realize how much of an impact I had on these girls' lives until that happened. Until that happened, it was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me, big time. Especially when I took myself out of the situation And I'll say that to any young girl who's going through domestic violence. Don't react off of love. F love.
Yep.
To come out of the situation and look at it third person and for what it really is, and then make your decision. Because love is so blind.
Anna, I agree with you. I like her a lot more now.
Yeah.
Okay. And the part that I like is that she took the lesson that she was given to other girls, inadvertently even, so seriously. You know?
Yeah, she did, definitely.
And she felt she had a certain responsibility not to do that. And she seems very heartfelt here, obviously. And so that's very big of her.
Yeah.
And when she says, look, I'm a human being, it's true. She came from an island, Barbados. She wound up getting famous, et cetera. I mean, she's not from, as far as I know, from the family that's used to fame and et cetera, et cetera. And so she's going to have normal human reactions. But she fought those to get beyond it because of the bad lesson that it's going to leave for other people.
Right. And, you know, I realized why you like her so much more. Because she did not act out of emotion. She put her emotions aside. I mean, in the long run, right? She put her emotions aside and she acted logically. So, and that's a very difficult thing to do as a woman because women are usually very emotional in situations, and it's very hard to kind of ignore the way you feel towards someone when you're deeply in love.
Okay, now let me jump in there because it is an important point. Your emotions and your mind messes with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's this psychological principle called cognitive dissonance. So if someone, all it says is that your mind tries to make two things that don't fit into something that is logical, right? So now the things that don't fit here are, I think I'm a smart person and I'm going out with this Chris Brown and I selected him, but then he beat me real bad. Those two things don't match. So she's got to make them match. That's called cognitive dissonance. So the way she makes them match is, oh, he did it for love. Or it's okay. There was a reason why he did it, and I still love him. I'm going to stay with him because I love him. Somehow the mind rationalizes it, right? And then you're not thinking that through consciously or logically. So you think, oh my God, I love him, and I got to go back.
Right.
But it's actually your mind fucking with you, okay? It's all the things that are going on in your head. So, and it's a hell of a thing to fight that. It really is.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And emotion's a hell of a thing to fight for girls or guys, okay? And so that's why a lot of times it'll drive you back. And I really respect her strength for going away from that.
Right, and let me say one more thing about that. Look, she takes her role as a role model seriously, whereas a lot of other celebrities, female celebrities, don't take that role seriously. You know, she didn't choose to be a role model. She ended up that way because she's a public figure, right? And instead of saying, yeah, I didn't choose this, so I don't care, you know, what kind of role model I am to these girls, like other people, like Britney Spears would do. She's saying, you know what? People look up to me. I need to set an example. I'm going to do the right thing, regardless of how I feel emotionally.
All right, JR.
As I was listening to that, I was thinking, I said, you know, well, she's going through all this saying that I want to make sure I don't do this again so that other people won't do it, these little girls, as we were just talking about. That's fine. I have no problem with you being a role model, even though you weren't trying to be. But it kind of disappointed me.
Oh, that's interesting. I could sense from your look that you were skeptical about something, but I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
What is it?
I feel like I don't know. And this is all speculation. She was getting told this by somebody, maybe a psychiatrist. She probably wouldn't got help for all this. And then they approach it in the way of, you know, you're Rihanna. There's 12-year-old girls looking up to you. Or there's 16-year-old girls who are with a boyfriend that maybe he's beating them now. You have to stay away from this guy because they're going to go back to their boyfriend. So you have to be a role model to them to save their lives or their whatever kind of beatings they may go through. Forget all that. We have to get the fact that you're a human. You're a regular person right now. Do this for you. Fuck all them other people right now. Don't do it because you have to be a better role model for them. Do it because you don't want to get beat anymore because you deserve better than that. So now somewhere in her mind, she still could be thinking this. Yeah, she got past the emotion part, but she needs to realize that emotion, it's start with you first. Don't worry about anybody else right now. You can't be a role model before you yourself because you're going to fuck up some other way. And you'll be too busy worried about them. You're going to have a whole different complex. Get yourself straight. Get away from him because it's better for you, not for them. And when you do it better for you, they'll be fine too. It'll all work out. Just start with yourself first.
Well, you know, of course I agree with both. for them and for yourself. And JR makes a good point, because the concern I had listening to towards the end of that was that it's almost as if she still loves him, because she talks about, you know,
Yeah.
don't do it for love, F love, right? But it didn't quite seem to me that she got over it, and that I'm concerned that JR is right, that she's doing it for other people,
Right.
but that in fact she still has those feelings. Again, it's just speculation, right?
Right, and you know what, JR does make a good point, because if you paid close attention to the interview, there was one point where she says, even if Chris never hit me again, who's to say that these other boyfriends aren't going to hit their, you know, girlfriends, right? So she's kind of already analyzed whether or not he's going to hit her again in the future.
Right.
And look, getting over love is a very difficult thing. It's not something where you can say, okay, mine, shut off, I'm not in love with that guy anymore. It takes time.
Are you saying there's no magic wand where you say, love, go away?
No, there's no magic wand. So it takes a while. I don't think that she's over him. Come on. No way. No how.
Okay, and then, but she had some other good things. She said, it happened to me. I didn't do it. It happened to me. And it's embarrassing, but it is what it is, right? So I like that. Final two thoughts on it. The headline on this story was, Rihanna says she was beat 8 or 9 times. That's not what she said.
That isn't what she said.
Yeah, Diane Sawyer said it happens on average 7 times before a woman leaves. She said, no, 8 or 9 times on average. She didn't say she did. So if you saw that headline, that is not true. Okay, you just saw it with your own eyes.